Welcome back to Website Royalty Town Hall number 24. Today we're talking about something a lot of you ask questions about, and that's how to turn your first 100 people we talked about getting last week on your list into sales. And we're going to be more specific today. We're talking your first 10 sales. So we're going to be referring all through the show about first 10, first 10. That's what we're talking about, your first 10 sales.
That's lovely. So, in earlier episodes, we help you build a simple Kajabi funnel in a weekend, and that got you your first 100 people into it. Today, we're moving our focus from funnels and traffic to what we as entrepreneurs ultimately want, which is sales, right? That's what entrepreneurs everywhere, that's why we got in the business. So, if you're looking at your Kajabi dashboard and you're seeing 50 people, 80 people, 120 maybe on your list, and you're wondering, how do I actually turn this into money and customers? This episode is for you.
So, our promise for this town hall is simple. By the time we're done, you'll have one clear first 10. Remember, that's going to be our word. First 10 offer and a gentle plan to invite your list into it over the next week or two without feeling too salesy or overwhelmed.
That's right.
We're going to walk you through 5 steps to get your first 10 sales. I love this because it can become, repeatable. And I must say, you guys, I've been saying for years and years, simple sales. This is another example of what I mean by that. Simple does sell.
Absolutely. But before we do that, Kim, we want to run through, like we always do every time, is we go through what came up in the Website Royalty private group this week, figuring that if we're talking about it in that group, then somebody out there might be wondering it here, which is why we started the town hall. And so we want to stay true to that, right?
Absolutely. And I love this week. This week was a fun week.
Yes, it was. So let me start off by saying we were helping someone build a recurring meetup with their community, a section of their community, but they were using a recurring event because they wanted all the emails to go out with it, and all the reminders and the registrations that you get with a live event, a marketing a live event, but using your community. And I think those two first things on the list, it marries well together. But it was an interesting kind of teaching moment too.
And I guess for someone who just came to the show for the first time, Denise, I want to mention that Website Royalty Town Hall is what we do here publicly. In Website Royalty, the private group, we have live meetups to answer questions and help people with their website stuff. That's what we're talking about. When it came up in our private group, we're bringing the list out here out loud. We're picking our top 5, I guess we can say, and bringing it so that if you have those questions, you can get those questions answered too. So I just thought we hadn't actually addressed that.
You're right, we didn't. I was jumping ahead.
No, I'm excited too.
And then we were talking about using an evergreen course and how that gets set up in Kajabi, and how you link that to your communications with your people and how they get notifications and a whole bunch of other things. So that was fun to do. And using a custom domain versus what Kajabi can give you a subdomain of the main Kajabi name, which is .kajabi whatever, but everybody needs their own custom domain because that's what the world runs on. So how that all set up, we talked about that. And then we also talked about, for a very new startup business, getting your logo and your branding set up in Kajabi, because it's so helpful as you go through, because it carries through to everything. So if you do that initial work where you get your colors and your fonts and your sizes of your text and your logo and those things set up, it's so much easier because it carries through to everything, which is just incredibly helpful.
It's very fun. I love all the new stuff, just saying.
Me too. Me too.
Okay, let's dive into the 5 steps because everybody's waiting, Denise, to turn your first 100 people into your first 10 sales.
Right.
So here we go. We're just coming out of the gate like quick, Denise.
That's right. We're going hot into it.
Step one is to pick one simple offer that is the next step for the people already on your list. Not five offers, not your dream signature program. One small, clear next step. Because if you will build a little slower, you'll be amazing at the speed everything goes when you build the right things in the right way.
My gosh, that slow down to speed up thing and the right things in the right order. Oh my goodness. I never heard that. Sorry, I'm being facetious. I'm being teasy. And
It's my favorite.
I know. Let's help you find that offer. Okay, so ask yourself these two questions. What problem did my freebie or funnel promise to help with? So when you created something that drew people into your funnel, what was the promise you made or what was the problem you were addressing? And what's the very next small step result people would love to get with your help after they chose to engage with the freebie? That's
I
how you
love
find
this. Yeah.
so let's do some examples. If your freebie help them start your first 10 offer helps them continue and complete it. It's just one notch deeper. And please remember, you do not need something huge here. We're talking about focused micro offer steps.
And we want to say we've successfully used three simple formats in both of our businesses: a live workshop, a mini course, and a one on one starter package. So we want to make sure you know that these are not things that we're imagining up. We're telling you from our own experience what has worked. And I think that's a big difference in a lot of what people tell you things, I'll just say. So, example one, a live workshop. Imagine your freebie was a simple content ideas checklist for coaches who never know what to post. Your live workshop could be a 90-minute session called Create 30 Days of Client Attracting Content in One Afternoon. Inside that workshop, you walk them through the checklist live. You help them pick 3 to 5 core themes. You map out a 30-day plan together, and they walk away with a real calendar, not just ideas. That's the biggest part I'm going to tell you. If they walk away with a win, they'll be back.
That's
They
right.
get a live online session with you, a recording of the session, and a simple planning template for them to use. You can share both the recording and the template with them in Kajabi. And for your first 10 people, you might price this between maybe 47, 67, somewhere in there. And understand, for you, this is a live working session, not a giant course that takes hours and hours to build first. I think that's an important part of this.
Absolutely. And notice the bridge. So the freebie helped them gather ideas. The workshop helps them turn those ideas into action with a plan. And that is all we're doing here. We're connecting the free thing to the next small paid step.
Very exciting. So, example two is a mini course. Let's say your freebie is a 5 step home office reset checklist for work from home entrepreneurs who feel scattered. That's all of us. We can all feel scattered at times. So, your mini course would be called Calm Office, Clear Brain, a weekend reset for your workspace.
Great title. I love that title. You are a magical title person.
Inside that mini course, you might have 3 short lessons: clear your space without overwhelm, set up simple systems for papers and digital files. You got to tame that paper tiger, and create a weekly reset so it stays organized, plus a printable checklist. And I will tell you, I live by checklists. I love checklists. They keep your brain from having to, do double work. You only have to know the checklist. So
Yes.
for this first 10 offer, you might price it at maybe $57 as a beta version and tell them they're getting founder pricing in exchange for feedback.
That founder pricing is such a great strategy to draw people in the beginning at reasonable pricing. Don't forget that. But again, the pattern is the same. The freebie was a quick reset. The mini course is a focused weekend transformation. You're still solving one clear problem in a short micro time frame.
I love it. Well, example 3, we want to make sure we hit all these, Denise. A one-on-one starter package. Imagine your freebie was a 10-question clarity worksheet to fix your first offer for new business owners. So your first 10 offer could be a one-on-one package called Offer Clarity Power Session. It includes one 60-minute call, like online call, where you go through their answers to the worksheet together. You send a short written summary afterward and a 20-minute follow-up call like a couple weeks later. The result is they walk away with one clear offer to use, basic wording for who it's for, and what it promises. And they get a 30-day action step to launch it. So you're giving them all the things that, you have in your experience. For your first 10, you might price this at, I don't know, 147 to 197, somewhere in there, as a special founder rate. It's obviously worth more, but you want to get started. So
Right. So we have 3 simple examples, right? A live workshop, a mini course, or a one-on-one package, and they were all built as the next step after whatever brought them onto your list. So let's stop here for a second to ask everyone a question. As you were listening to the 3 examples, did you notice if one felt lighter to you, did your body settle and then envision doing it yourself? Which one could you actually deliver in the next couple of weeks without burning out or stressing out?
And part of the success of this plan is for it to not feel overwhelming, but doable. And let me just throw some numbers out really quick, because if you follow this plan and you price it at the lowest price we mentioned, which was 47, you're still making almost $500 from this exercise. If you do the 197, you're making almost $2,000 for following these steps. So don't turn your nose up at small beginnings, because once you get that in place, then you make another 2,000, another 2,000. You start raising your prices. We promise this is a plan for you to get started. So for the first 10 offer, remember our first 10 offer, you only need to pick one format, pick one core problem, and pick one clear outcome. Once you have that rough idea, we move to step 2, identifying your warmest 10 to 20 people inside your list. When we say warm, we mean engaging, they're open. So not everyone on your email list is equally ready to buy right now. Maybe they have something else going on in their life and it's not the time, but that's okay. For this first 10 offer, we want to start with the people who are already paying attention.
Right. And inside Kajabi, you can see who has opened your emails, who's clicked your links in your emails, who's opted in most recently. And those are your cues to who's engaged. Go into the people filter by the form or the freebie that you brought these folks in by, and glance at recent activity. Look for people who opened the last one or two emails, who clicked to watch your content, who have replied before.
I love it. So looking around, be nosy. Let me say that. Be nosy in your own stuff. You're doing research right now. So make a short list of 10 to 20 names. These are your warmest humans. They are the people you would invite first if you were hosting a small dinner party. If your data is a bit thin, that's okay too. Everybody starts. Think about that. Think about names you recognize from social media, from past conversations, or people you know in real life who have joined your list. They count as warm people as well. The point is to stop thinking, I have to sell to 100 strangers, and start thinking I'm inviting, you start thinking I'm inviting a handful of people who have already raised their hand. So when we talk ourselves out of doing this, let me just say that, because all of us can do that. You're defeating yourself, because they already said, hey, I'm interested. I want to be connected to you. They already said that. So remember that part.
And once you have those warm 10 to 20 in mind, we're ready for step 3, which is your soft launch plan.
And soft launch just means small, focused, and human. You're not blasting everyone, you're inviting.
But your soft launch has 2 parts. So it's personal invitations to your warm 10 to 20, but you don't miss the opportunity to use what you're doing to the full list.
Right.
It's not as personal as it might be to the 10 to 20, but you still take the opportunity to talk to your whole list. So let's not, you know, eliminate that. So it is 2 parts.
Well, let's start with the personal invitations. These can be emails or DMs written one to one. Keep them short and natural. Here's the thing I want you to remember: you don't want to sell ice to Eskimos because they don't need it. You're selling a solution that the people that have signed up have asked for a solution. You're showing up with that solution. So I want to really get into your head about, you're doing a service to them by showing up and sharing what you have. So you might say something like, "Hey, Denise, I've been thinking about you while creating this new workshop, mini course, or coaching package. It is designed to help with and give them the result. I'm opening 10 spots. Would you like me to send you the details?"
So you see what's happening here? You're not sending a sales page out of the blue. You're asking permission. If they say yes, then they have invited you to tell them more. And when they reply yes, you send a short message with what it's called, what they get, the result, the price, and the link to join or book it. So you can do that in a simple Kajabi offer and checkout. It's not complicated. It's definitely contained and focused and doable within the time frame we're talking about. So don't think you have to, plan for forever. And those personal invitations alone can get you several of your first 10 sales because they're built on relationship and relevance. So they put their hand up and wanted your freebie, so they're interested, and that helps.
Sorry, y'all, my allergies.
That's okay. It's a bad month.
Now let's talk about part 2 of the soft launch. Can you hear me okay, Denise? My voice is going. Okay. So the emails to your full list. This is not a huge launch calendar. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
Or
You want me to do it?
full campaign. I'm thinking it's just 2 or 3 short grounded messages.
Okay. So email 1 is your announcement. You remind them of the problem they told you they're dealing with. You share why you created this offer, and then you tell them what it will help them do. For example, you might write about how many people said they felt stuck with content, then say, "This is why I created this 90-minute live workshop to help you walk out with a 30-day plan." So you tell them you created it with that in mind, but you give them the outcome. And then you give them the link to your Kajabi page. Email 2 is about value and fit. So after they've gotten the 1, you explain who this is for, who it's not for, what's included, what result they can expect. And then if you have any past stories or testimonials or examples, share one to make it more personal. And then email go ahead.
Can you go ahead and finish email 3? Sorry.
Yeah, no, I need you to rest that voice. I know the ragweed's getting at you. So email 3 is a gentle reminder if you choose to send it. Okay, so a lot of people would just stop at the invitation, but I often think it's good just to remind people because we get so much email. And you can say something like, "We start on this date," or "I am closing this first round on what the date is. So if this has been on your mind, now's the time to join." Just a gentle nudge, not huge, just paragraph, right? All 3 emails should sound like you. Emails you would actually send to a friend, clear, conversational, and honest.
And with that soft launch plan in place, step 4 is to choose simple pricing and set expectations for this first 10 offer?
Pricing is where a lot of creators freeze, myself included. So we're going to dial the pressure down for you for this step.
For your first 10, you can treat this as a beta or founding member round. You're getting paid to learn, not trying to squeeze every cent out of the offer yet.
So you ask yourself what price feels fair for the value and doable for the people on your list, but still feels like you're taking yourself seriously.
For many people launching their first small offer, rough ranges might look like for a live workshop, $27 to $97. For a mini course, $47 to $197. And for a 3-session one-to-one package, maybe $150 to $600. And these are just ideas and suggestions, and it's not in concrete.
Right. But we do know one thing though, Kim. So we do know if people don't pay for something, they are not as engaged in it, and the value of it is not recognized by them. And we've both learned this from example in our own businesses, that you can give away things until you're blue in the face, and the value, people might consume it, but they may not take it in as the value it should get unless they pay for it. And that's a truth, right?
True.
So on your sales page and in your emails, be transparent that this is first round or beta level. And you could say things like, I'm keeping this round small and the price is X, Y, and Z.
Don't get stuck on the pricing. I just want to say this again though, because I think a lot of people who have a solution they're selling to their people, they will talk themselves out of asking a price out of lack of confidence. And I will just say this. I almost didn't take one of the best classes I ever took because the price was so small. I thought, well, this can't be valuable if they don't think it's any more than that. And I went ahead and took a chance on the class. And oh my goodness, I'm so glad I did. I learned so much in that class. And I immediately started telling the teacher, you need to like 5 times this price because I almost didn't take it.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to ask more as you go along. We just want you to get started and get confident in the beginning so that you get your first 10 sales.
Absolutely. So once you settle it in your own mind and you share it honestly, that builds trust and also gives you permission to improve the offer as you go, right?
So once you have your price and expectations, the fifth and final step is to know what to watch inside Kajabi and what actually counts as a win.
Right. So when you hit send, it's normal to feel nervous. We all do. We still do, right? You might be tempted to refresh your browser every minute and look at your stats and judge yourself based on one number or 1 hour or 1 day, right? We want to simplify this.
For this first 10 offer, watch 3 things. How many personal invitations you send, how many people click to your offer page, and how many sales you get.
Right. I'm going to make a suggestion. We all have spreadsheets. We all have things on our computers. Just get a piece of paper and put those 3 things on there.
Yes.
And date down the list and the columns and just keep it in front of you because that'll keep you from refreshing your browser all the time. So I'll just say that. So if you make 15 personal invitations and 3 people buy, that is a huge win. If 100 people get the email and you see a handful of clicks, that's engagement. If you get your first sale ever, that is a milestone worth celebrating.
Definitely celebrate it, y'all. To give you a sense of normal, like we're using normal very loosely, but or patterns like this, that it's very common to have 100 people maybe on your list, and 30 to 60 might open your emails, but maybe 10 or 20 click the link, and maybe 2 to 10 buy. So don't feel like you're going to get 100 when you send out 100, invitations, but don't count it out as it's too small, because 100 people on your list can be 10 sales.
Right, right. If you fall anywhere in that range, it's not failure. This is just how it works. You can improve from there one small tweak at a time as you do this.
Also, pay attention to replies and questions. Sometimes the most valuable data is in what people ask before they decide yes or no. That's the best feedback or questions. That language helps you refine your offer and modify your language for your future emails.
Right. And at the end of this first 10 round, you ask yourself a few gentle questions. What seemed to resonate? What confused people? What did I enjoy doing and delivering? And what would I change next time?
That is how you build a repeatable system. We're all about the shampoo recipes around here. You
Yeah,
invite, you watch, you learn, you adjust. Then you run it again a little stronger each time. So we want to share the 5 steps with you again in visual form. So define one simple first 10 offer, identify your warmest 10 to 20 people, create a soft launch plan, choose simple pricing and expectations, and then look at what to watch in Kajabi so you know what is working.
right. So, Kim, we laid out quite a bit today, right? So, we want to land this with, for everyone, with one clear action step to move us out of our heads and into action and movement. So,
We're all about the challenges around here. So your action for today is this. Choose one of the 3 formats and write one sentence that describes your first 10 offer. For example, in this 90-minute live workshop, you'll walk away with a 30-day content plan. Or in this 3-lesson mini course, you'll reset your home office in a weekend. Or in this 3-session coaching package, we'll get crystal clear on your next career move and your 30-day action plan.
right. And once you have that one sentence, the next micro step is to make a short list of 5 to 10 warm people on your list that you could personally invite.
That's it. You do not have to build a whole offer tonight. Just name the offer and name a few humans. That's how momentum actually starts.
Right. And look at this list that we have up on the screen. These 5 steps can be broken down into little steps. Don't
Mhm.
forget that. They don't have to all happen at one time. Take it as you can so you'll get to the end, right? Your first 10 sales are not about perfection. They're about proof. Proof that people want what you offer and proof that you can show up and invite them clearly and easily.
We believe you can do this. We believe in you, Sweet Royals. You have people on your list and you have something that can help them. This episode gives you a simple way to connect those dots.
Thanks for joining us for this website building town hall on turning your first 100 people into your first 10 sales.
When you send that first invite or make that first sale, come tell us. We want to celebrate with you. And next week, we're all excited.
We are excited. We're going to talk about the 5 steps to build a community in a weekend. You're going to gather your best people. You're going to give them a quick win and then turn them into a community that actually supports your business.
We will see you in the next town hall. Love y'all.